Principal city and capital of Cuba, the largest island of the West Indies. Havana is like two cities, the old Spanish one, which was enclosed by ancient walls close to the harbor, and the new city of the Republic, spreading for miles along the coast. One has ancient structures and narrow congested streets. The other, large buildings, broad avenues, and the activity of a great city. The heart of the city is the wide thoroughfare called the Prado, where the magnificent new Capitol stands. The superb building was completed in 1929 at a cost of $20 million. It houses the Congress of the youngest republic in the New World. The Cubans have laid out their new capital city along spacious lines and embellished it with many fine parks and splendid buildings. Standing at the head of Mission Square is one of the most elaborate of the public buildings, the Palace of the President. The National Theater is the most ornate in the city. The White Asturiano is one of Havana's largest clubs. The university is in modern style. Havana is spreading rapidly, and tall buildings begin to spring up everywhere. But the dome of the Capitol stands out far above them all, dominating the old and the new cities. The most renowned avenue of Havana is the Malecon, a curving driveway bordering the sea, similar to the famed boulevards along the French Riviera. The Paseo de Mate, the tree-shaded center of the Prado, is the favorite esplanade of the city and possesses one of the most expensive pavements in the world. During the day, few persons wander beneath the trees, but in the evenings or holiday afternoons, it is crowded with promenaders. The principal business streets of Havana are in the old part of the city. The activity in these congested narrow thoroughfares is the greatest of any in the West Indies, for Havana is the largest city of the Caribbean. Old Havana was laid out with very narrow streets so that only for a few hours in the middle of the day could the tropical sun and heat penetrate them. Even the sidewalks of the old city are so narrow that on some of them pedestrians can hardly pass. It is really hot in the sun in Havana, and along the wider streets of the shopping district, the sidewalks are under arcades. Many of the shops in the city have open fronts, for the climate of Havana is like continual summer. Groceries are neatly arranged behind counters opening directly on the sidewalks. Many of the beauty parlors are almost out of doors. An outstanding curiosity of Havana is the Columbus Cemetery. It is one of the most amazing in the world, for nearly all the graves are above ground. Millions of dollars have been spent here on marble tombs and memorials. One mausoleum contains scores of tombs, one above another. Not only at the cemetery, but all over Havana, ornamental monuments have been erected. Nearly all are to Cuban patriots who fought or died for the island's independence. Among the most elaborate is the monument to General Maximo Gomez, one of the three leaders who brought about the rebellion that ended by American intervention and freedom for Cuba from the tyranny of Spain. Most significant for Americans is the main monument overlooking the sea. It was given by the Cuban people as a memorial to the American sailors who lost their lives when the battleship Maine was blown up in Havana Harbor in 1898, the act that precipitated the Spanish-American War. Havana was a well-fortified city, and many of her early strongholds still stand. The most renowned is Morro Castle, the venerable weather-beaten fortress at the entrance to the harbor. Opposite Morro Castle is La Puña, the smallest in the city. The strongest and the most formidable fortress in the town is La Fuerza. This was built by Hernando de Soto before his discovery of the Mississippi River and is the oldest fort in the New World. Old Spanish architecture has been followed in the construction of the new city jail, and it presents a picturesque resemblance to Spanish fortresses in their prime. It is an attractive addition to the Cuban capital. An unpretentious little temple on the old Plaza de Armas commemorates the first landing in 1519 of the founders of Havana. The most beautiful of the old buildings of the city is the former palace of the royal Spanish governors. After the formation of the Republic, this was the residence of the President, but now it is the City Hall. The houses of the Spanish aristocrats were elaborate, and some even palatial. The exteriors were severe, but within there was always a restful patio with palms and fragrant flowers. Facing upon a fine square of well-preserved aristocratic mansions is the grand old Columbus Cathedral, a place of pilgrimage for all American visitors to Havana, for it is claimed that the bones of the great discoverer were brought here in 1795 from Santo Domingo, and for more than 100 years they were enshrined at the side of the beautiful high altar. The noble old towers are topped by the progress of modern Havana, but they still look down upon the old colonial city that was the last outpost of the Spanish Empire in the New World.